From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Melanie Hastings.
When it comes to decorating a house, well, bathrooms can be a challenge, but even the smallest of rooms can be fun to tackle. Denise Willard of Decor by Denise has some tips today to make a small bathroom seem bigger. That sounds like a great idea. Hi, Denise. Good to see you back with us.
You too.
So this is part 3. We've already tackled this small living room, the small master bedroom. Now we're on to the bathroom.
Right.
So let's see, where do we start when we are talking about making a bathroom look bigger?
Well, the bathroom is definitely the smallest space, and especially the powder room is even smaller, right? So there's a lot of ideas I brought with me today, everything from paint colors to adding skylights to doing various things with tile that really can make a big impact in a small space like a bathroom.
Well, let's take a look at your first picture, and I think we're going to be focusing here on the vanity. Is that right?
Well, part of it's the vanity, and also part of it is the skylight that was added into this space. The first room I have is an attic bathroom, and what you can see is because it's an attic, it's got the sloped ceiling, and what they've done is they've added in a skylight here, which really adds dramatic impact in the space, totally opens it up. And instead of having a double vanity that's in one cabinet, they've split the two into 2 single cabinets, but it adds the same functionality without taking up as much space. And then they've added in those little cubbies and a railing around, or I should say a ledge around the top for display and for storage. So it really just makes the whole space much more functional and much bigger than it actually is. I love the skylight. That's a great idea.
I do too. This is such an attractive room.
It is, and it's in an attic.
The first thing you notice, is that it's all white, the monochromatic look.
Yeah.
And white, of course, always makes a room look bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, and all the beadboarding and stuff just makes it all come together. I think it's a great room.
I do
really,
too.
really creative way of using an attic.
Now, how do you get a skylight? I mean, that doesn't look like, I mean, it looks like they put that in, doesn't it?
They did.
Yeah.
They added that. I think that was a great design to come up with and to add some natural light, because otherwise it would have been very sort of cavernous in there with the slanted ceiling, etc.
And then the built-ins and the beadboard, and it just all has so much texture to it, doesn't it?
And function. I mean, it's got a lot of storage for such a little space. So I really love this one.
Okay, let's look at another slide here, creating some more visual space.
Yeah, the next ones I have are more about paint color and what you can do with some stripes and a mural to really make the space look a little bit bigger.
Okay, I think we're going to a mural first. Too.
Okay.
I'm hearing in my ear. Okay.
The mural is actually an idea. Here you see it where it's painted on the wall. This room is an example of another slanted ceiling, and one thing we always tell clients, if you have a low ceiling or a slanted ceiling, first of all, you always want to paint the walls the same color. So that way that you don't notice the slant, and it doesn't make the area where the slant comes together with the shorter wall, it doesn't make the space look too, the ceiling look lower. So what they've done here is try to distract your eye and paint the walls and the ceiling the same color, and then add this vibrant, sort of interesting, almost a geometric looking wall mural to really give the space some color, because otherwise it's sort of lifeless. And that's a great way to jazz up a small space and still add some life without going crazy and trying to do too much in a small space. So I think
sort of looks branchy, doesn't it?
It does.
And it brings your eye up. Plus, it also brings it out. So it really, you spread it out.
It does.
You're looking at the whole room there.
Yeah, it accentuates the longest part, the longest wall in that room and the widest wall. So that's really what you want to do. You want to maximize that, so you focus on that, and the room therefore looks bigger.
Very attractive. Now let's get to the stripe paint you were talking about.
Yeah, the stripes. We have 2 examples. I'm not sure which one's going to come up first, but we have a horizontal example and then we have a vertical example. The horizontal example works, here it is, works similarly to horizontal stripes on your body. We typically don't wear horizontal stripes on our body because we don't want to look wider than we are, right?
Right.
Especially women, we don't want any of that. So men tend to wear them, but women not so much. So that's the same effect it has in a bathroom. I love this room. It's a very pale green with a little bit more vibrant green, and then the black and the white, it all comes together nicely, and the horizontal stripe really makes that room look way bigger than it is. So that's one idea. The other one is to do a vertical stripe, and in this case, because they've got the slanted ceiling and some extra space above the wall to take advantage of, they've painted the stripe all the way up to the ceiling, and it makes that room look much, much higher. The ceiling looks much, much, much higher than it is.
So the vertical stripe we would use in a low ceiling area. right?
No,
Is that what you're
typically
saying?
it's where you have some ceiling space that you can, like the slanted ceiling here, you can leverage it and paint up, and it makes the ceiling look much higher, whereas the horizontal you would use if you've got a low ceiling,
Okay, well they're both beautiful.
Isn't it very
yeah,
interesting? Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It sure does.
And it makes the rooms look way bigger than they are, because they are both little bathrooms.
Absolutely does. Okay, now let's talk about the next thing, which is using deep colors, deep tones.
Yes.
And I think you've got a great example to show us.
I do. I have sort of a Moroccan themed bathroom, and a lot of times people get really stressed out about using too bold a color in a little space like a bathroom.
Yeah, I wouldn't try it.
Right.
But because we've been told, you know,
know.
dark colors make spaces look smaller.
And that is true. But the one nice thing about a bathroom, especially a powder room, is it is small, and everybody knows it's small. So if you want to go bold in your home, that's the one place you can really go bold and not be afraid.
Wow,
this
look
room,
at that, huh?
Yes. This room is so stunning because they've used a cobalt blue on the walls, and they've leveraged this Moroccan mirror, which they either got overseas or they may have purchased locally. It doesn't really matter, but it's created this really warm feeling of an ethnic theme. And when you walk into the space, even though it's little, you don't focus on the size of it. You focus on all the dramatic color and the beautiful mirror, and there's a beautiful tile sink here as well. So you focus on all those things versus the size of the room. And it's a really nice way to add drama in your home without, the reality is if you go dramatic here and you don't like it, you can easily change it. Whereas if you go dramatic in another bigger room, it's a lot harder to go through the process of changing it. So.
And that's dramatic. If I ever saw dramatic, that's it.
But isn't it pretty?
And another thing, a lot of people around here especially are, we come from all over the world, so they have items from different places. So a Moroccan mirror like this would work really well. I mean, it's a place where you can show off your belongings.
And be creative, and even an inherited piece that maybe you don't have any other place for in your home. Put it in the powder room. It's a great place for it. So.
Great. Show it off. Don't hide it.
Right, exactly.
Okay, now we're going to move to tile, right?
Okay, yep. I have a couple of examples, but one in particular that was in the DC Design House this year. One of the designers there had this bathroom that you can see on the left, which was pretty unimpressive. And what she did, working with Mosaic Tile Company, is come up with a design to basically create a very impressive and stunning focal point. So they basically replaced all the tile in the bathtub and made the back wall of the bathtub really the focal point.
Oh, I see. It's a split screen. You've got the before on the left and the after on the right.
And Cindy Grossmiller is the designer who did this. I was actually in the DC Design House this year as well, and I saw this firsthand. And the tile is absolutely stunning. Yeah, it's so pretty. It doesn't even do it justice here. But now, even though there's a very narrow path to get into the bathroom, you don't really focus on that. What you focus on is how pretty that tile is at the back, in the background, and I just want to get in and look at it.
So they took the shower door completely off.
They took that off. Well, that was more for display. Yeah.
And they raised the roof. Look, they took the arch away and made it a peaked roof.
Yep, they changed all of that. And some of the challenges in these rooms is I also did a bathroom. We weren't allowed to change the original tile, so they also covered up some of the tile on the wall and that kind of stuff because they weren't allowed to get rid of it. But what we really wanted to focus on here is that stunning back piece that Mosaic Tile designed.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
And you don't really focus on the size of the room so much. You focus on the tiles. So.
Now, how do they bring light in at the top there in the after picture?
They installed a different kind of light. The old fixture was very old and sort of losing its luster, so they just added something that's a little bit more vibrant.
It totally works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It looks much brighter.
Oh,
in the picture on the right. Okay, we've got the sink and the counter in same colored stones, and that seems to work?
Yes, this is another example that Mosaic Tile shared with me. We work with them a lot, and basically we've got stone that we've used on the countertop and also on the walls. And basically what that means is that if you use the same stone, here's a picture, if you use the same stone on the countertop and the walls, what happens is the consistency basically makes the space look more open. So even though it's a darker color, it doesn't really matter. What really you notice when you walk into the space is that beautiful vessel sink. So you focus on all the finer details, the vessel sink, the faucet, those kinds of things. The stone is just a nice backdrop, and because it all works together and it's all monochromatic, it allows the nicer things like the sink and other things to shine, and really you don't focus so much on the size of the room.
So they did add tile, but they put it up a little higher.
They did, and
so
it's all the same color.
above that backsplash area.
Yeah, and it's all the same color, so you really don't, you don't notice the variation. Yeah, exactly.
Great ideas, Denise. Thanks so much for bringing them in, and we're looking forward to parts 4 and 5 when you come back with those.
Thank you.
Decor by Denise. Check it out. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
When we come back, Lindsay Lohan, she is back in the news. She turned heads the other night on the red carpet, but not for a good reason. And Dr. Katie Nelson is here with her friend named Slinky, and he is up for adoption. Look how cute he is. And you can also check out our blog at tbd.com. Enter in the keywords Let's Talk Live. We're coming back.